What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's a beautiful project, our Lamborghini Gallardo. This is the Superleggera edition, modded in by the latest mod into Car Mechanic Simulator. We got it from the junkyard. It is in awful condition, just how we kind of like it here. I don't get it from the junkyard very often, but a few have come up recently, thanks to some changes in my game. Did we get a good deal on this one? We did just about. 7,535 is what I paid, and I could sell it for 8,456, making a profit of 921. Off you go, Lamborghini. What a video. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, we're not going to do that one today. We're going to try and increase that by quite a considerable amount. This one does have a V10 overhead valve MT8 engine. Pretty insane. We're going to be adding performance parts to this beast of a V10. Make this Gallardo as super powerful as we possibly can. 525 factory. Hopefully, we can double that, if not a little more. That's what we're going for today. It looks pretty sweet, but it is in very bad condition. So we need to get this one over to the car wash, get it cleaned up, and let's get started. Here we are then, in the car wash. Let's get the Gallardo clean. Over we go. Gallardo clean. What colour is it underneath all of this dust and grime? Well, it's a lovely grey at the moment with an off-green bumper. Loving that. Let's get the interior done. Let's get this beast back on the lift. Get that engine ripped out, if there even is an engine in there. There is some of an engine left in there. So get that ripped out and start getting everything stripped down. A lovely little detail there, made by Lit. Lambo's in the air. Let's check for the oil pan and see what we got going on underneath this ride. There's no oil pan, so that's nice and easy. This is rear-wheel drive, so we got the drive axles going into the gearbox. So we need to get the rear wheels off first, so let's crack on with that. There we go, both rear wheels and rear drive axles off. Let's jump inside. We got a little bit of exhaust. I'm just going to grab that now. Both of these pieces here out. There we go, and by the looks of that, no starter. The starter is missing. Bit of a shame, but out you come. All 5 rusty bolts on the gearbox today. That doesn't happen very often. Let's get you out nice and easy with our can of spray lubricant. Out you come, and out you come there. There we go. Now, that should be all of it. This already makes me feel like there's loads missing from the engine bay, so we'll have a quick check of that in just a minute. But let's get the galley back on the ground. Go and grab the engine crane, not get stuck in the quarter of the car. And go and get this V10 ripped out of here. Any cover? No, we're completely open. So let's get you out. Out you come. Grabbing that exhaust out was definitely beneficial. What have we got in here then? That's a large intercooler at the back. There we go. We can see that. Let's just go into here. Wow, that's missing a lot. So we've got intercooler, radiators, air filters, all of the exhaust. As I said, we did have this piece and this piece here. A lot of that's missing. Missing a fuel tank, power steering reservoir. We've got a second fuel tank, but we are missing the pump, the ECU, ABS module, coolant reservoir, and a brake servo down here. What have we got down the front? There's a fuse box down here, wishy-washy reservoir, there it is. 2 more radiators and another battery up there. Quite a bit missing from this one, but again, suspension all looking complete or roughly complete. I'm going to get all of this stripped out, get that engine stripped down, and then we'll work on the bodywork before we send this galley over to the paint shop, see if there's any liveries and what we can do with the paintwork. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back in. But first off, we need to sort out the bodywork. So let's get all of this off. Off with the bumper, off with the windshield. That's the steering wheel. We'll come to that one in a minute. Left body window there. What else have we got? Very bare looking, this Lamborghini. Out with that. Anything down here? Doesn't look like it. There you go. Car part 3 off with the side skirt on that side. And that looks to be it. We did see the steering wheel earlier, so let's grab that out as well. Out you come there. And is that... Oh, that's definitely a front fender. Can't believe I missed that one. Massive. That looks like it should be everything now. Let's have a quick double check. Car status. That screen shows that there is nothing, so fantastic. And down to 1% on there. That is everything. Frame at 17%. And I bought the car for 7,500. I've been way off on these recently from the junkyard, so I'm going to go up a little bit. I'm going to say 2,500. 850. I should have stuck with my original plan and kept low. Let's go in and take a look at the bodywork shop to come with this one. Now, there are 4 variations. There's the Superleggera, the Special Edition, or SE, the Standard version, and a Purple Edition, which is what these parts here are for. We've got some lovely King Slowpoke logos. Thank you so much for your help with this one, dude. I know you didn't make the mod, but you are definitely very beneficial into it all coming together. So thank you, King Slowpoke. Awesome work. Again, Thank you, Lit. Even better work actually making the mod. So we've got a couple of Superleggera parts there. We're probably going to be going with them along with that little spoiler. Superleggera front bumper, things like that. I'm not going to go for the King Slowpoke doors today. They're not for me. What they do is they put this King Slowpoke image on the interior side of the door so that you can see it from inside the car. We'll be going for the Superleggera doors because we got a Superleggera. This fender here, I believe, matches with the Superleggera, hence the little black strip on there. So that's what we'll be going with. What else have we got? There's only 3 pages of stuff on here, so not too much. 2 different Superleggera rear bumpers. We will check them out and see what the difference is, along with the rear bumper delete, I believe, for when you've got big twin turbos in there and the exhaust sticking through. Looking awesome. Couple of different tail light options, headlight options, mirror options, and hood options. This one pits a little King Slowpoke badge in the normal Lamborghini badge slot. And this one, I believe, hangs an air freshener from the wing mirror, rear view mirror, whatever you want to call it. But there we go. A couple of different trunk options. We're going to go for the Superleggera because if we want an open trunk, we want to be able to see. And I have seen a picture of this engine cover. I'm hoping it looks pretty good, and I'm hoping that also we can do something with the paint on it. Otherwise, I may go in and remove the engine cover again, as I like doing occasionally. So let's crack on with this. I'm going to start getting all of this back together, everything we need. Then we'll get it reassembled before heading over to the paint shop to see what we can do today. Let's get the Superleggera all back together then, starting with the front end. On with the hood, I've just gone for a debadged hood on there. We have kept the original Superleggera front bumper in its horrible green, but we're going to change that a little bit later on. Fenders at the front there. We've also got some lovely little new headlights in here. I went for the tinted headlights. In you go, in you go. Obviously, they're the Superleggera ones with a little strip. And again, the Superleggera doors, and we've got the Superleggera side skirts in there. The windscreen, I did go for the King Slowpoke windscreen just as a little homage to King Slowpoke for being involved in making this beautiful car. So there we go. Thank you so much for that. Mirrors, I went with the black ones, and let's get the Superleggera side skirts on. And the left body window around this side. Over to the other side. Let's get all the windows in over here. And that lovely little wing mirror. In you go. And we'll come around to the engine cover. We'll throw that in first because it's harder to reach. See what I mean? If that paints, it's going to look absolutely beautiful in the colour scheme, whichever we go for today. On with the trunk. Lovely Superleggera carbon fibre trunk. We've got a trunk window, a rear body window. And then we've got a lovely little carbon fibre spoiler just sat on the top there for the Superleggera. The rear bumper, clear, is no Lamborghini badge. The normal one is with a Lamborghini badge. That was very easily sorted out. And we got the tail lights just in the blacked out, or the tinted tail lights on there. And for our license plate, we've just gone for Super Gal, as in Superleggera Gallardo. There we go. Looking pretty sweet on there. That should be all of the bodywork. We're going to get the interior in. That's not the right button, but it does tell me that the bodywork and frame is all done. So there we go. We want to go to that mode. Interior and accessories. Steering wheel, I kept with the M3 steering wheel. It suits it really well. And the seats, I kept the same style, but I changed from leather to a fabric A. Hopefully we'll get some awesome colours on there a little bit later on, depending on the colour scheme that we go for this Super Gallardo. Let's get it over to the paint shop. Let's see if there are any liveries, and if not, let's pick the colour we're going to go for. Here we are then, in the paint shop with the Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera. I'm unsure what to do with the colour on this one. There are no liveries to go with it, which is a bit of a shame. We do have the Superleggera banner on the door there going into the fender. So we've got a little bit to work with. Let's have a look at some factory colours. The factory yellow is pretty cool. Everybody does like a yellow Lamborghini, but not feeling it today. What else have we got? That burnt orange is pretty nice. And we've also got maybe a lime green. Maybe let's have a play. I'm going to save a purple for when I do the purple edition. I keep coming back to it because it is a beautiful colour, but not what I'm going to go for today. Maybe like a really light blue. Maybe. No, I'm keep coming back to this burnt orange. I'm going to go for this burnt orange. I think it looks absolutely fabulous on this car. Maybe not in gloss. What else have we got? Not metallic. The burnt orange in the pearl looks pretty good. What about matte? Matte. It's got to be matte. That looks absolutely stunning. So we're going to go with that matte burnt orange. On you go there. You look absolutely incredible. Now I'm going to try and colour match a few things to make this look good. First off, I'm going to try and see what we can do with this engine cover. Get a bit of colour in these seats there. Don't know whether I'm going to go for the black bits or the white bits in the colour yet. Depends what colour the wheels are going to be and what my accent colour is on this. We've got plenty of black to play around with, so that'd be nice and easy if we wanted to go for that. If we just open it up in here, get around, open the trunk, you can see there is a few splashes of that burnt red or orange in there, looking pretty sweet. Got to try and colour that cover. Unsure what the second colour is going to be, so we're going to have a play around and figure out that, and I'll be back in just a little while. I'll show you what I've done with the seats and the engine cover, depending on whether we're keeping it or not, and then we'll get on to getting everything back together, hopefully painted and ready to go. There she is, our sunburnt orange Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera, looking pretty sweet. We've changed a few bits. Most notably, I've taken the engine cover off of the back there, and we've swapped the 2 floating air filters for 2 full air intakes in there, looking pretty good. We've also got orange and white on the seats. We are going to have a splash of white in a few other places as well, hopefully looking pretty sweet. And we've got some orange on that steering wheel. It's looking pretty good in orange. I'm liking that so far. But let's get the suspension together, starting with the shocks. We've got orange shocks, white springs, and orange caps at the front there, looking pretty sweet. And then down the back, it is the same in the orange and white, looking very good. Quite pleased with them, but let's get them and the rest of the suspension into this car. Starting with the sway bar, that's in a white, and the steering rack's in a black, with the front knuckle in an orange. And we got the inner tie rod in white and the outer tie rod in a lovely little black just down there. If we swing around to the other side, the bottom suspension arms are in black, looking very good. On you go. And then the upper suspension arms are in white, just to kind of alternate it a little bit, just to make it a bit funky, a bit more cooler. Then the shocks, you've already seen them in their orange and white, looking beautiful. And the sway bar end link, just in a little black, just to finish that section off there. The knuckle cover is in a white with the front wheel hub in a black there. On we go. We've got the hub bearing. We got a brake disc. We've got the hubcap in white. Brake pad on you go. And then the brake caliper is in the chrome orange, looking very cool, just so that hopefully it will stand out a little bit more against the wheels a bit later on. Let's get down the back and get this all together as well. It is just the actual knuckle housing part. So we've got the knuckle in the orange. We've got the lower suspension arms in black, and the upper suspension arms will be in that white, the same as the front, looking pretty good. In you go there, and then let's get the shock on in its orange and white, looking beautiful. Thank you very much. On you go. Then the knuckle cover in white with the hub in black, looking tasty. And then the rest of it is the same as the front, so let's just get it all on, apart from the back does have a drive axle, which will go in a little bit later when we throw the gearbox in on the engine. That's it for the rear, or all of what I can do at the moment, apart from this medium intercooler, which will throw you in the orange up there. We've also got both fuel tanks in an orange, one over here, and the fuel pump just in a lovely little white, just to finish that off. Looking pretty good. The rest of this is all to do with the engine bay, apart from the exhaust, but we'll come to that a little bit later on. I'm going to get on and get the rest of this suspension all finished, and then we'll get on with the engine bay before we go and build that beautiful V10 engine. Okay, well, the black, white, and orange came out looking absolutely spectacular. Very, very pleased with that. Looking beautiful, but we need to get up and get into the engine bay. I've already done the fuse box. Some of you may have noticed that. It is just in white, looking pretty sweet. But let's get the rest of this in with the battery, in with the wishy-washy reservoir. And the 2 front radiators are in orange. In you go, and in you go. Make sure we get them right. I'm going to come away from that now just so we can have a quick look. You can see them big 2 orange radiators through the front grille there, looking pretty sweet. If we jump down to the back and go back in, we got more to go in down here. We've got a coolant reservoir up here, brake servo in there. We've got the ABS pump with its lovely module in the orange in there, sitting looking pretty cool. In you go. Then we got the ECU Type A Performance in there, and then the power steering reservoir. And then the radiators on the back here, these are both the black ones. In you go, and in you go there. They should hopefully look pretty cool. We'll have a look at that in a second. We've got the air filter base in a black with the air filter on top, and the cover in a lovely little orange with white clips all the way around. Let's just get all of these in. In we go. Oh, I missed. In we go. Quick as we can now. Come on. In you go. In you go. And then we'll get the other one all finished up. And then we'll take a look at how good this looks before we go and build that beautiful V10 engine. On with the clips. Almost finished. In we go, back round to the other side, and then that should be everything in the engine bay apart from the engine, or the engine bays apart from the engine. So let's take a step away, and just down through here, you can see the intercooler in the middle there in the orange, and then it's just completely blacked out on the side, so you can't even see them radiators, but that's kind of what I was aiming for with it. There it is, that's the engine bay all done. Let's go and build that V10. In we go to the engine room. Looking pretty good on there. We got the block in black and the oil pan in black. All of the innards all done for that, ready to go. So let's just crack on with it. We do have a camshaft up here to go in, along with a cam gear and a timing chain on the front there, with a big old orange timing cover on the front, looking pretty cool. In you go, all bolted up. Then we've got the water pump in a white. In we go. Lots and lots of bolts on this engine. They are everywhere. Crankshaft pulley in a black. We also have the water pump pulley just in a black there. And then the idle rollers are blacked out as well. In we go, and in we go there. We got the oil filter blacked out, coming off of the orange, looking pretty good. Power steering pump in a white, looking good. And the alternator couldn't go white, so sadly it just went black. It looks way too metallic on the orange. We've got the serpentine belt in a black, and one last idle roller just up here, just to finish off the front of the engine there. Let's get on and get these engine heads in. These are both in the orange. Obviously, the outsides come out the very metallic-y orange, but it's kind of blended in and hidden away just a little bit. So we'll get both of these in, and then we'll get all of the innards for these in as well, and then we'll get ready to move on to the next part. In these, we've got, oh, if I could click them, valve push rods, loads on either side, 12 either side. We've also got rocker arms, the same amount of them to go on top. And we'll get all of them in, and then we'll move on to the next part. That's all the push rods and rocker arms in, ready to go. Let's move on to the engine heads. These are in a lovely body-matched orange on the top there, looking very good. Obviously, you got the orange of the engine head into the orange of the engine head cover. Slightly different colours, but still looks pretty good nonetheless. We do have loads of spark plugs to go in as well. So let's get all of these in. You go, in you go, and in you go. And last one just in there. We've got a lovely little fuel filter in the white, and then our ignition coils on top of the engine in an orange there. On you go, looking very, very good. What have we got left? I mean, I'll leave the other side. I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do the exact same as all of this. So we'll go into the intake manifold in a bright white on the top there, looking absolutely special. In we go. Hopefully, when we drop this in, the orange, the black, and the white, it's all going to come together, and it will look beautiful. We've got fuel rails on either side there in the orange to keep going in line with the colour scheme. And then the throttle on the back, just in a black. I was going to do this orange, but it came out even more metallic-y than this orange down here. And it wouldn't go white, because then it just looks silver. So we left it in the black, and that's looking pretty good. The last piece to go on, or very nearly the last piece, is the exhaust manifold, which is in white, which means the whole of the exhaust is also going to be in white, winding its way through that engine bay. Looking pretty sweet. We do have to go around this side and get the rest of the spark plugs in just to get this one finished off for all of the individual pieces in it. So in you go. And then just on top of this, we've got some lovely little ignition wires just in the black there. And that is it. I'll get the rest of the other side all finished off, grab some pictures, and then we'll get it dropped in the Superleggera out there, ready to go. Time to get this beast of a V10 dropped in and ready to go. So off the stand you come. Looking beautiful on there, but will it look as beautiful in the car? Let's find out. Let's get you in, and let's get this crane put away. And we can't see it from here, so let's go a little bit closer. Oh, that's looking pretty sweet in there. Nice white block on the top, going into the oranges of the rest of the engine bay. And this sort of scaffolding work in here really separates the black and the orange. That really looks fantastic. Very, very pleased with that. We've got a few bits left to go, so let's get back underneath. We've got the gearbox, we've got the exhaust, and a couple of drive axles and a starter to go in as well. Rear bumper preventing us from getting under there. I like that. Up we go, though. In we go to this. Let's start with the gearbox, if I could get round to it. In we go. That's in a lovely burnt orange on there. Looking very good with the starter just in a little white, just to finish that one off. Then if we swing over to here, the rear drive axles are both blacked out, just to sort of blend in the colours a little bit more. Let's get this one in as well. In we go. And then I've already said it, but let's take a look at them. Let's get all of these exhaust parts in. I want this part first. In you go. And then we'll go around to this side and we'll squeeze in that gap to get you in. And then we'll get the main middle muffler on in the white, and then the 2 rear mufflers also in the white. That exhaust looks absolutely fantastic, but as per normal, the exhaust tips are built into the bumper. So they are coming out of there in the black, even though the exhaust all leading up to it is white, but it is what it is. It still looks pretty fantastic. And if we just bring it down just a little bit more, you can see that you can just about see all the white piping through the gaps at the back there. Still looking pretty smart, but that's it. Probably going to go for white wheels on this one. I think they might look absolutely fantastic. Maybe a black and white if I can find a set I like. Shy of that, I'm going to top up all the liquids, get the windows tinted, get this car all finished outside in the sun. Here we are then, all finished with Lit's Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera. Looking absolutely fantastic in this sunburnt orange. That engine in there in the orange-white with a bit of black in there, just to finish it off, looking absolutely special. The rims I've gone for today, these are the rims 2A, looking absolutely fantastic with the black outsides with the white on the central piece. Looking pretty good, and it's got a bit of a 3D layer to it. Really nice looking rims, and obviously our chrome orange brake calipers through there. Anyway, this at the front, this is a 22-inch rim with a 235 width and a 25 profile on there. We made them a bit bigger for our version. They start as 19s. We went all the way up to 22s and brought the profile down a little bit. Down at the back, still a 22-inch, but this time it's a 295 width with a 25 profile on there. Really finishing it off. I think they look pretty cool on there. Pretty special looking. Not the standard rims by any stretch of the imagination, but looking pretty cool nonetheless. Let's jump in and check out the interior. Obviously, our orange and white seats with our orange and black steering wheel in there. Looking pretty good. A weird texture to them, but I wanted the whites on the insert, so we had to go with the fabric ones instead of leather ones, which would have looked a little bit better. But it still looks fantastic in here for the rest of it. No lit logos on the dash like there normally is, but it does say made by Lit on the rear there. So it's pretty cool nonetheless. Let's get it started and see what she sounds like. Good old beast of a V10. Nice, solid, mean-sounding grumble. And as we accelerate, it gets more of a high-pitched whine. Just sounds mean if you were going past it. That high-pitched whine at top revs would be absolutely insane. But let's get this one onto the dyno. Let's see what horsepower we've got and what our drag rating is. Well, here she is on the dyno with the V10 MT8 engine, our Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera with 525 factory horsepower. How much have we added today and what is our drag rating? Let's take a look. 534 horsepower gain, a gain of 102%. That's very, very good, bringing us to over 1,000 horsepower at 1,059 and a drag rating of 909. Not quite 999. Be interesting to see what kind of opponents we come up against today. Hopefully it's not just full of unicorns, but we shall see. Let's have a look at the gearbox tuning setup. This is about the best I can get out of this Gallardo, if I'm being truly honest. I've been at this for about 45 minutes to an hour now, playing backwards and forwards, changing things, moving things around, and this was about the best I could come up with. 3.85 ratio. First gear is very short with a 70 km/h first gear, stretching all the way up through to around 349 at the top gear, although I'm pretty confident we can't quite make it up to there. We'll see what we get up to in just a minute. Our ECU is fully tuned and we don't have a carburetor, so let's head over to the drag strip. Let's enter a tournament and let's see if I can not crash on the last race again. Here we are then, back at the drag strip with the Super Gal, our Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera. Let's go, King of the Sands, 1 mile, A-class, pay the entry fee. And who have we got today? A couple of unicorns, not too many actually. Some Ford Fiesta Gymkhana 3s. We did the Gymkhana 8 or the Ken Block drag last time. Quite a pleasant mix there. Country Thang in a unicorn. Nice to see. French Toast in the Gymkhana 3. Very fitting. And Truck Fan, you're back in the Hoonicorn, but you are in the Hoonicorn Street, so it's a bit different. Who else have we got? I'm up against the Hammerdale Astral S Thor. That could be quite a hard race. So let's get into it. Let's see if we can win our first race. We did do a Hammerdale Astral on ours, and it looked absolutely insane. Question is, can we beat that little beast down the end of this 1 mile strip? There's only one way to find out. Let's go. Off the line in the galley, into second, very early change, and then into third and fourth. Where are we? Well, we are in the lead as it stands at the moment, so I'm pleased with that. Into fifth gear. There she goes. I didn't think we were going to win the first race with this car, to be honest. It just hasn't quite got the legs for it. It only reaches about 330 kilometers an hour on the 1 mile strip. I honestly didn't think this was going to beat any. What did we get on our first run? Let's find out. A 9.437 to the quarter of a mile. We didn't even beat the Hamad Austral into that. And then 24.193 to the 1 mile. A bit disappointed in the Lamborghini Gallardo. If I'm being truly honest, I expected this to be an absolute monster. If you have the gear ratio any different, you know, any longer in first gear than what I had it, it stops dead almost on the line before you go. So that was about the best I could come up with. Sadly, it didn't win here at the tournament. We will do 2 more just 1v1s, you know, 3 randomizers, get some a collection of times to go onto the speederboard to see what we'll end up with. Congratulations, Country Thang, on winning the tournament. Sadly, we were knocked out in the first round, so let's get back to the beginning. Let's go back. Let's do a couple of 1v1s. Pits us against the wide body, but we'll do 3 randoms and see where we end up. 1, 2, 3. We're against the Gymkhana 3 Ford Fiesta, the one that French Toast was driving. Can we beat that in our second run of the day? It does look absolutely fantastic in that livery, though. That Ford Fiesta Gymkhana 3, I do love that livery. Our orange, white, and black Superleggera is still pretty epic, but not quite as good as that. So let's jump inside. Let's go. Well, we got off the line into second. Might have messed up the gearing a little bit there. Into third and into fourth. We are pulling away from the Fiesta as it stands. Let's get into fifth. And we are still pulling away. Might we actually win a race with the Superleggera or the Super Gal into 6th gear? What are we going to cross the line at? Are we going to beat our first run? Hopefully, fingers crossed, a slightly better time. Let's have a look. A 9.547, sadly, and not a better time. A worse time. And a 24.271 to the 1 mile. Again, a worse time. So let's get in. Let's do 1 more. There's the Gymkhana 3. 3 more randomizations. 1, no, 2, and 3. We won't do the Gymkhana 3 again, so 1 more. Well, it looks like we're going to be against the open wheel racer. Doesn't have a very good tune on it, so we might have a bit of a chance, but I actually doubt it. So let's get in and try and beat a Formula 1 car on the drag strip with a Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera. Well, I'll be honest, that rocket of a Formula 1 car, the open wheel racer, I'm not expecting to beat. So let's just get in and let's give it a go. Come on, Lambo. Off the line is a good start. Into second, might have missed that a little bit, and into third. Come on, Lamborghini. Well, apparently we've pulled away quicker than the Formula 1 car. I don't quite believe that. Maybe we can beat it and reprise ourselves from losing our first race. Into top gear. Let's see if we can get a good run on our very last run and get a best time for us here. Come on, Lamborghini. 9.426. Actually, that is our best time. That beats our first run at 9.473. So there we go. And the 1 mile at 24.124 at 334 kilometers an hour. Also, our best time to the 1 mile. Also, we smashed the Formula 1 car, but I believe it spun out, lost traction, and couldn't get across the finish line. At least I believe that's what's happened. I don't know. But let's get back to the garage. Let's see where the Lamborghini will have fared on the speederboard and say goodbye. And before we leave today, I've got to make sure I wish you all a Merry, Merry Christmas. Sadly, our Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera didn't quite make it onto the top 10 speederboard, coming in at 16th with a quarter of a mile time of 9.426. A 1 mile time of 24.124 and a top speed in the mile of 334 kilometers an hour. 16th out of 21 cars on the drag strip isn't bad at all, but we do need some better cars. That was a bit of a shame. I was expecting that one to be a little bit better. Before we go and see it, I just want to stop, take a few minutes, gather everyone around the Christmas tree and wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. Thank you to everyone for being here over the past year. Slightly longer than a year I've been doing this, but I'd sort of class it as Christmas to Christmas from now. It's been a brilliant year. I've had so much fun doing it. I'm glad you guys have all stuck around. 401 subscribers to end the Christmas pool. Into Christmas with, so thank you so much for that. Everyone that's been a part of this channel, whether it be from the beginning, whether you've only just recently subscribed, taking part, watching the videos, supporting me in my endeavor to become a car mechanic simulator YouTuber. I'm doing quite well, I think. Not too bad. But just a quick moment, I just want to say again, thank you so much to everybody. It really does mean a lot that you're all here. And hopefully we can get this channel to keep growing further and further, bringing in more subscribers, more views, more likes, and the odd comment here and there. So thank you very much to everyone. It's been wonderful. And again, Merry Christmas. But back to today's Lamborghini. Back outside we go. There she is, looking absolutely beautiful. One stunning looking Lamborghini Gallardo as we just go around it one last time, taking in some of the details. The frunk that can only hold a helmet, the beautiful orange, black and white interior in there. That engine in orange, black and white looking so good. Absolutely fantastic. And we can't forget that beautiful suspension. Multicolored all the way throughout. This is a beautiful, but we need to talk some facts and figures about our beautiful Lamborghini Gallardo. If you stuck around for long enough at the beginning, you would have saw that I bought the car for $7,535, where we could have sold it instantly for a profit of $921, but we obviously didn't do that. We've spent quite a bit of money, $96,725, modifying, upgrading and painting this car to how it is right now as you see it in front of me, looking absolutely spectacular, pitting our total spend at $104,260, which is absolutely insane. Can we make a profit from this one? Let's have a look. 160,000 kilometers just under, all 100% complete now, and that engine now up to 1,059 horsepower, an increase of 102%. Absolutely incredible. But can we make a profit? 104,260, 179,691 is the sale price, leaving us a profit of 75,431. Obviously, we need to minus the 1,000 from the drag strip, leaving us with a total profit of 74,431. Beautiful Lamborghini by Lit. Excellent job, King Slowpoke, getting the additional details or however you helped along with this build. I know you either commissioned it and, helped pay for it and things like that, which is why we've got your lovely little air freshener hanging just inside the car there. King Slowpoke, absolute legend. Link in the description below if you want to grab this car. It is absolutely beautiful. Or you can just head over to the Steam Workshop and search for Lamborghini. You will find it. But we're going to sell this one. So off you go. A nice little bit of 74,000 profit. What have we got up next? We are in for a crazy build for Boxing Day. This is a Fiat 500. You all are aware of a Fiat 500. This isn't a normal Fiat 500 though. This has got a beast of a V12 stuffed into the back of this one. Absolutely insane. I haven't quite finished playing around with it yet, but it's going to be a fun one to do on Boxing Day. So we'll talk more facts and figures at the beginning of that video. But that's it for today's video. I do hope you did enjoy this one. If you did, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, and also leaving a comment. Let me know what you think of today's build or the next build, that beautiful Fiat 500, or any of the builds you see in front of you. Our competition winning cars, our drag strip destroying gasser, which wasn't quite as good as we thought it was going to be. But yes, that is it. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, whatever you get up to. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.